Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. My homage and veneration to the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one, the Buddha, together with the Dhamma and Ariya Sangha. And my great respect to Venerable Mahasangha, my greeting to lay devotees and friends of the universe. Today we have come up with the topic of living with reality, with the Dhammasandana discussion, which usually conduct on every Friday night, 9 p.m. Cambodian local time. But today, because of the technical problem with the internet, so we apologize for the delay. And yet, today we are also very honored to have invited our three honorable guests from different corner of the Kingdom of Cambodia. First of all, we have invited Venerable Kasapa. Right now, he lies from the Vipassana Turya, the Cambodian Vipassana Turya Buddhist Center of the Kingdom of Cambodia. And Venerable is also an executive director of the International Cambodian Buddhist Center, Sri Lanka. And we also invited Mr. Namchani, who is right now lies from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. He is the lead trainer at Impact Hub Phnom Penh, also the co-founder and co-founder of Vipassana. And again, finally, we have invited with us to join Mr. Thon Van Dong, who is right now lies from Kampong Cham province. He is the founder and executive director of BSDA, Buddhism for Social Development Action, which is based in Wat Doko Bajai, Kampong Cham province, Cambodia, and he is also the owner of the Hanjay Bamboo Resort in Kampong Cham province. So because of the time is very much late right now, so without further ado, I would like to start with the first question to our honorable speakers, which will be started first with Venerable Master Kasapa Hun Kamara, who right now lies from the Buddhist Vipassana Turya Buddhist Center of the Kingdom of Cambodia near Phnom Odong. So, Venerable, can you have explain, according to your knowledge, what is reality in the teaching of the Buddha? Please, Venerable.
Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. May my homage to the Triple Gen. And very good evening, everyone, and especially and respectfully Venerables of TV and other Venerable sirs and friends in around the globe. And at the inception, I would like to express my gratitude for the organizer for inviting me to join this program. It's a great privilege and great honor. So the topic is really, absolutely incredible and amazing because the term reality has been discussed and brought to the table by many religious scholars, philosophers, and scientists, even in natural sciences like psychology, sociology, and especially the physics, bring the topic, to the table and discuss the nature of reality. So when it comes to the reality, it can be relativism-based ideology, but Buddhism has its own unique and distinctive ideology of the nature of the reality, because the philosophy of uh, of the nature of reality in Buddhism is quite, unique and distinctive when it comes to its core philosophy, because reality in Buddhism is something within our body and mind, and the philosophy is not created by any mighty dominant authorities or external forces like mighty God in other religion. So the reality uh, uh, is lying within our body and mind. So from that perspective, reality in Buddhism is very universal and it is very experiential, because reality in Buddhism is within our six senses. It is not in the sky, or it is not manipulated by the mighty God or because the external authorities or forces. So, and it is very, sophisticated term, and profoundly philosophical. But let me explain you what is the reality in Buddhism. So when it comes to reality, as I told you, it is within our experiential senses. So especially just look at your body. So there is a reality in your body. And as I told you, it is a process of a natural phenomena. So just look at the nature so you can understand the reality. So sun rises, sun sets down, the river keep, and there are ups and downs, in the natural selection according to the Darwinism. So this is the natural phenomena. We call it dhamma, or in Sanskrit you call it dharma. So this is the reality in Buddhism. So there are many fundamental teachings and philosophies in Buddhism which are so-called the ideology of reality in the universe. For example, is karma or karma in Pali. So this is the reality. So it what goes around. Sorry, what comes around, what goes around will comes around. So it's about action and reaction. So if there is an action, there is a reaction. So another profound teaching is, that Paticcasamuppada, dependent origination, so, or the law of cause and effect. And because as I told you, the reality is not created by any mighty God. So if there is a cause, there is an effect. So if there is a cause, there is a result. So they are interconnected, they are interdependent. So even the science, they believe there is the philosophy called relativism, and even it is quite different from the Paticcasamuppada, but they also believe in causality. Okay, and there are many teachings in Buddhism uh, which are the embodiment and the manifestation of the reality. Let me bring up like the three characteristics. We call it anicca, dukkha, anatta, and so on. But in conclusion, the reality from a Buddhist perspective is about something that within our six senses. And there are two kinds of reality in Buddhism. One is conventional truth, another one is ultimate truth or absolute truth. So, but they are interconnected, they are interdependent to lead, in order to lead us to understand the ultimate truth that is nirvana. But what I want to say, reality in Buddhist perspective is possible to experience, is possible to absorb, and is possible to comprehend. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pante Kasapa on camera, for your very detailed and clear explanation about the reality which is taught in the teaching of the Buddha. So you have mentioned about the law of cause and effect. What comes around goes around. This is reality. Whatever we do, we will get that action. That is also the law of reality, the law of causation, like Vedajasumupata, and you continue to talk about the conventional truths, Panyati Satya and Paramatta Satya, ultimate reality. So now let's come back to Brother Namchuni, who right now lies from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So what is your understanding about, especially I want to know about the conventional truths. Why in the teachings of the Buddha, he expounded there are two types of truths, conventional truths and ultimate truths. So can you give some example of the conventional truths, of how we name things and assume things for the sake of daily communication, please?
Thank you, Venerable Master Coordinator. Let me first pay respect to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, and the most venerable speaker. Also, I would like to pay gratitude to the Dhammika Lai organizer for this program. It's my honor to be here this evening again with Venerable Master and also brother from Kampong Cham province. Thank you, Venerable Camera. You already mentioned quite a lot already, so we'll just put that into conventional truths. Okay, I mean, let's just take a look at reality. There's some problem happening before we could start this program. That's called the immediate reality that's just happening with the internet connection. You know, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and now we connected, so we can feel that, we can see the immediate reality. So let's go back to the conventional truths in Buddhism. So what we see, what we understand, we believe that this is what it is. We believe that, for example, when we feel happy, or we know that when about Saktivi, we know that Saktivi as a conventional truth, but ultimate truth is something different else, something else different. And we can't really escape the reality if we look closely into our daily activity, into our daily life, that when we see happiness happen within us, or the suffering happen to our life. So it's important for us to really pay a close look into it and understand and find how we respond to that. Otherwise we won't find the way out, because it's what we see is not really what is the fact. So we see the name, we see the thing, it just only identify when, for example, when somebody named Thon Van Dong, I mean, not ultimately conventionally we see that, but this is not real reality. It is not the thing as they really are in Buddhism. So I'll just put it this way in a very short like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Chani, for your explanation about the conventional truths, how we name things, how we assume things for the sake of daily communication, to easily understand each other in daily life. So we use name as a convention. We name this and name that as mountain, as forest, river, by this name or that name, so all these are conventional truths that we live in each and every day of our life. And so let's come back to Brother Van Dong, who right now lies from Kampong Cham province. And thank you again for your patience. And also again, thank you to all audience for bearing with us within this very difficult internet connection. So can you give some example or maybe just your explanation of what is reality according to the Buddha's teaching? Thank you.
Namaskar and greeting to Venerable Coordinator and Venerable Kasapat, who is a speaker today, and Kalayanamit Chuni, who is a co-speaker today. I'm very grateful to be a first speaker by the online platform today through Facebook and Microsoft Teams. So I think first of all we have to realize that we are living in the reality. So the reality of our life is about day and night and to live in this world which is so different, which is so colorful, and nothing bad and good. It just the name. It just named by people, you know. So if you are living with positive and to see and to recognize the whole world is just our home, and then we don't feel upset and then we don't feel anger to what is this, because it is just reality. In Buddhism, what I understand is just to accept where we are and where we live and who we are. So then start to recognize that, and then the happiness is happen. And if you don't recognize the reality that we are living, we are with, then you just set up the goal to something else which is not reality. So it is come back to Buddhist philosophy is about meditation. So meditation is just to train our mind to accept the reality, to observe the reality, and then observe that we are in which feeling. So we are attached with the sukha, we are attached with dukkha, or we are attached with name, or we are attached with unnamed, or we are attached with the good name or bad name, whatever we call lokathama. So we are always with lokathama. In Khmer we call lokathor. So this is the reality. And however, based on the experience, to me, I have a principle to live with the reality. I never think too much about the future of life, but I'm thinking today, Buddha educate us and teach us to live in the reality of life. First, we have to working hard. If we want to make our life to be happy enough, just put ourselves to working hard. In Pali, mean Uttana Sampati, it means we have to working hard. As the student, we have to work hard in the homework where the teacher assigned it. And as the citizen, we have to working hard as the citizen in the country. And as the entrepreneur, we have to working hard in the business. So after monk, we have to working hard to study and to make a meditations and whatever. So this is the principle of the reality. If we are far from the reality of life, to put yourself to be happy, and then you are not happy. So to make your life happy is working hard. And it doesn't mean, oh, to make you happy, you have to be lazy, you have to be relies on the outside to give you the happiness. But actually, the happiness will be happen if you are working hard. So that is what Buddha teachings and teach us to work hard. Secondly, is to save. And when you make money, you have to save and don't waste your money in not important stuff. So sometimes we make a lot of money, but we don't use the money in the right way. We don't use the properties to invest in your life, to invest in your society, to invest in your business, and then you're going to lose all the property and all the money without nothing is important. And thirdly, it's about how to make friend, to make a good friend as much as you can. And of course, there's a bad friend and good friend, but minimize to make a friend with any bad people, because bad people can bring you to do bad thing, but the good people will bring you to do a good thing. So that what Buddha teach us to rely that to live in the reality is to make a good friend and to be a good friend with all your friends surrounding. And the last but not least is to live with equal. So don't make yourself just to be like isolated, because sometimes when you are too much yourself, and then our life is isolated. So please make our life simple, equal to order, and then to make your life is equal to order. Even if you have money, even as you are well known, you get knowledge, and you are getting a master, bachelor degree or PhD, whatever. So just make yourself very simple. Then this you gonna to live with the reality. So that is the principle of the Buddhism that teach us to live with the reality, is to working hard, saving money as you can, make a good friend, and to be a good friend, and then to live with equals to order around the world, and then your life will become happiness. So that is what the experience, and I practice it every day of my life.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Thonmadong, for your very detailed explanation about your understanding concerning with the reality of life based on the Buddhist perspective. Especially, you talk about the 4 facts that consider us as living in reality is to accept whatever it is now, whatever happens around us in daily life, whether it is bad or good, whether our mind is attached or detached, whether we are angry or happy, whether we are walking or eating, whatever reality, and that reality we should acknowledge, we should be aware of, and live with that reality. And that is what we call the Buddhist perspective, reality in the Buddhist perspective. Now, why is it important to live in the reality? As you may already aware that reality is easy to say when we talk about the philosophy, the meaning and definition, but how are we really to put it into practice, to accept the fact of reality? And because we understand that reality is so important, but why? So Venerable Kassapa, can you have explain on this matter?
Thank you, right, Venerable Sir, for the question again. as I told you, this topic is absolutely amazing, incredible, because every single of us suffer, from mainly mental irritants or mental calamities, because we do not understand the exact meaning of living in the reality, or simply we are, deluded or cheated by our own cognitive processes or cognitive functions. So it means that the majority, mostly every single of us living in a delusional reality, not exact reality. It means we have more wrong views or wrong perception or wrong understanding or wrong comprehension about our own world. So when I'm talking about the world, there are two worlds in Buddhism. One is ourselves, and another one is the universe. It means the cosmology. When we do not understand the reality of these two, we will suffer a lot. We will suffer too much, because we are in psychology, you call it cognitive distortion, or folly film of our folly film of senses. It means that we perceive the wrong information. So when the informational perception is wrong, like the way you perceive from the outside world is wrong, or you will suffer. So, and the most sign of making people feel frustrated or depressed or anxious, according to psychology, because people are living in a cognitive distortion. It means we live in daydream. We don't live in the reality. So when it comes to the daydream, I'm talking about that we don't see that life is full of failures and success. It means that life is about happiness and sadness. Life is about meeting good people and meeting bad people. So there are ups and downs in life. This is the reality. So this reality happens not within ourselves, but within the natural process also. That is why I cited two terms to explain the reality in Buddhist perspective. One is natural conditioning, and another one is a natural phenomena. So when we are talking about natural conditioning, it means that every single of us has to face the reality. Like, for example, if we have the body, we have to get sick, we have to get old, and this is the reality. And when it comes to the business, and our two honorable speakers are fully aware of the lay life. So there are ups and downs in businesses, and even in the educational system. And sometimes, and when it comes to the relationship, sometimes you feel love, sometimes you feel angry. So, and this is reality. So why it is important to live in the reality is because if we don't train ourselves to be exposed to the exact reality, or I call it natural conditioning, we will suffer a lot. And if we don't train ourselves to accept the reality, I mean, if we live more in the daydream, or we call it cognitive distortion, you will be in trouble. So that is why living in reality is very important, because you will become more and more happier than before when you accept the reality. So this is the significance of living with the reality. So thank you, Ref.
Thank you, Pang. Yeah, thank you so much. So if you don't accept while living in daily life, if you don't accept the reality, so you're gonna face a lot of trouble. More problem will come to your life when you try to avoid reality, because as a matter of fact, we cannot stay away from reality. Reality is everything surround us. So there are conventional reality and ultimate reality. But in ultimate reality, the three common characteristics, which is also the ultimate truth happening each and every day of our life, that life undergoes changes each and every moment. Anicca, life undergoes dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, disappointment, stress, sorrow, depression, whatever. So this is reality. And again, life is anatta, is non-self, nothing that can really under our control. So that is the reality based on the teachings of Buddhism. And thank you for your explanation. Why is it important for us to live in reality? And again, let's come back to Brother Chuni. What is your perspective from a single lay life? I know you've been as a Buddhist monk for a number of years and have been studying Buddhism in Thailand, and also taught mindfulness to many people. So what do you aware about living a life of reality? Why is it so important for us?
Thank you, Master Theory. I've been blessed that I was a monk. Venerable Master Kimara was talking about the cosmology world and the world within ourselves. So I say I was blessed that I was in two worlds: the world of the temple and the world of the lay people. So living in reality is really important. To accept the thing as they really are, the happenings around daily living. If we don't live with our reality, we find more suffer, we probably not find happiness. For example, we probably live a life too much in the past, or too much of our life in the future. We sometimes even forget that we have a life at the present moment. So we don't even know how to connect ourselves into the present life. For example, how we eat, how we think, how we act in daily activity. That's why we say a lot of time most people are looking for happiness for the future, and they forget to enjoy the happiness already happened within our present life. So if we don't spend some time to understand the world within ourselves, to open the door, accept the world within ourselves, which we try to run after the world outside, we try to run after materialism, we let ourselves manage or controlled by those development of materialism, then we forget that we have a life at the moment. So I think by open ourselves to accept the current, to accept the present moment and live and try to understand the present moment and try to accept the reality, that is one way to experience more happiness within our life. Because if we don't connect ourselves with the present moment, we probably not be able to see the reality. We probably not be able to understand what is happiness. Because life is hard already. I mean, life is hard already. Life is too short. Sometimes we say life is too short. when we don't know how to enjoy the process, when we don't know how to enjoy our life. Because let's just say we probably wake up from 5 a.m. The time we wake up, we do a lot of stuff outside. We work for company, or where we work, or we do a lot of different things, mostly for just outside, but not really have enough time to do something for the world inside ourselves. We don't have time to reflect on what is going on within ourselves. We don't have time to reflect what's going on within our mind. So to be able to connect with the reality, to be able to understand, to fully understand with the reality of the moment, by meditating, by open ourselves to connect with the moment, and then we start to be more aware what is happening around. Conventional truths, what is happening within ourselves, or within the environment around. Otherwise, we will just be more suffer by comparing ourselves a lot with the friend or with anybody who was better than us, or we're probably looking too much to the future. We can plan 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead. We don't even know what's going to happen yet, but we already worry that this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and we forget that we have a life. We forget that we have breathing in the present moment. Like Master Thich Nhat Hanh say, present moment, wonderful moment. So when we understand the present moment, when we accept the present moment, that we start to understand reality. That's why the reality is important to live our life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Chuni, for your explanation on this matter. I know it is so important for us to accept reality in life, or else we will face a lot of more and more trouble in our life. So, Brother Van Dong, since you also have been a monk for so many years and preach the Dharma to many people in Kampong Cham as well as in other provinces, and now you are a businessman. You also running a bamboo resort. So in terms, let's talk about in the business field, and connect with this topic, how we should live our life with reality. For example, in this pandemic problem, where we face a lot of problem with ups and downs due to the COVID-19. So, for example, if you don't have many customers as usually, so how are you to train your mind to accept reality? I know it's hard to accept reality, especially when it turns down. We can accept reality when we face happiness, when we face things which we want. But how are we to train our mind to accept reality that is unpleasant, that is not happy, like you lose customers? So how are you to train your mind in order to accept reality based on the business field, please?
Venerable, that is a very important question. It's hard to answer as well. But as the topic itself also teach us how to accept the reality. So the reality is mean bad and good, and always happen in our lives. And the first thing that we have to do is to accept the differences, people, to accept the differences situation, and then start to calm down, and then reflect ourselves, reflect to the team, and let all the stakeholders, especially our staff and our board, our investor, and our partner, to understand how we are, and what we are doing. So to reflect and to come back again and retreat. Sometimes we have to call all of them to retreat and then reflect what we can move forward for the future. So if we earn less, we have to spend less. So that is the reality. If you earn less and then you still pay a lot, then you don't accept the reality. So in the business side, we have to accept the reality and then to live with the reality and make ourselves feel happy. So for example, when the COVID-19 crisis are coming, so then we had to lock down our business, and then we had to pay more in what is it, and what we can do with our staff, with our communities, and when we have to analysis, called SWOT analysis. It means strengths and weakness and opportunities and threat and so on. So let all the stakeholders to accept it and then try to adjust the service, try to adjust the product to fit to the reality. So the reality, the whole world are locked down, and the tourists cannot travel from place to place, from country to country. So then at the tourist business, you're going to suffer a lot because you're going to lose a lot tourists, international tourists, because there's no traveling around the world. But we still can see the possibility internally. We see the domestic markets. The people they still travel because quarantine, because they are very stressful and present in their business and families and so on. So internally, people still travel. So we have to adjust our service. We have to adjust our manual. We have to adjust our product to fit to the reality of the client. So this, you are not stuck in the crisis. So you have to convert the crisis to be opportunity. So that is the way of living. In Buddhism, we call living with the reality. So don't again and don't expect nothing never happen. So to live with reality means to analysis. How can we survive in this situation? If our client is in US, in Europe, how can we do? So our client is not only people from Europe, from US, or from Australia, or from Hong Kong or Singapore, but of course our client also in the country. So then we have to adjust the manual, we adjust the product, and we change our marketing strategies, and we have to restructure the management and so on, and redo it again to fit with the reality. Then the business is starting again. Of course, it's not like before COVID, but of course, at least we can with the income 50% compared to before COVID. So this amount of the income we can cover for operation, we can cover for staff, and then not stuck in the problem. So convert all the crisis to be opportunity. So in Buddhist way, don't start, just relax, feel fresh, and then adjust the service, adjust the product to fit to the reality of the situation, and then produce our service and product to fit to the market demand. We have to live with the happiness always. Don't stuck in the crisis and problem. So to me, I always smile and laugh and then joke with staff, with investor, and then I always encourage all investors to put more money to be prepared, to be ready after COVID-19, then the people will start to travel 3 times compared to before COVID, because now they are quarantined at home and they are so stressful. They're going to travel a lot. So please be prepared for for the next journey when the COVID-19 is gone. People are going to spend a lot of money. Believe me. So I have to encourage the investors, shareholders, and staff to work more hard to be prepared after COVID-19. We're going to make a lot money as much as we can if you are ready. And if you are not ready, you are suffer and you stuck in the problem, then close down your business and everything will be gone by somehow that we don't accept the reality and then to live with the reality. So that is my experience. That is why our staff is still on operation, and investor put more money to improve the facility, to improve the service, to train more staff to be ready for the next step after COVID-19. Okay, so that is my experience. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Tanwandong. You have said a lot of important ideas, and I have learned a lot of new things from the business area because I have never been experienced on this field. I got to learn some new terms from you, like clients. Like do not get stuck. We have to get ready. Prepare more strategy for the next plan. So. It's about how we can prepare our mind even amidst the difficult situation where you have talked about, turn the crisis into opportunity. So we don't get stuck. We're not hopeless. We don't feel stressful or depressed due to the downfall of our business or whatever. That's what you have shared with us, and I really appreciate for your sharing. And again, Venerable Kassapa, as you have been leading and teaching meditation and vipassana to many people around the globe. I want to know your perspective. How are you to train your mind to face with the things which we don't want? For example, let's talk about in terms of meditation practice. When a yogi, a meditator, is observing reality within their mind, within the body, sensations, and dharma. If they face things which is painful, which is not happy, so how are you to train your mind to accept that reality on the perspective of meditation, please?
Thank you again, Venerable, for the question. So how we apply the philosophy of understanding the exact reality into the practice when it comes to practicing meditation. So in terms of practicing meditation, when the meditator, so from my own experiences and from the experiences and explanation of the meditation masters, there are many techniques to train our mind to accept the reality. So as I explained you earlier, so the reality is something is happening right now at the moment. So this is one point. And another reality is, as you know, there are 3 characteristics in the world, that everything is impermanent. There are ups and downs, even in our emotion and even in our physicality. So in order to train our mind to accept the reality, or as you said, to deal with the painful experiences, it can be physical and mental. First thing is we have to build up right attitudes. So right understandings, right views is very important when it comes to dealing with painful experience during meditation. So there are many stages in terms of exploring the right view or improving the right view. So one phrase is, let the meditation flow at its own speed and at its own direction. So when we train ourselves to let it flow, it means that we don't have any kinds of, hurriness, but we have patience to observe the reality that. So, and even our pain, it can be physical or mental, it has its own speed and its own direction. So when we train ourselves to let it flow as the way it is, or at its own speed or at its own direction, so it kinds of giving up that this is the process. There is no I, there is no me, there is no mind in the process. So it is just a process. So first thing you have to build up is the right view. And as I told you, there are many phrases that meditators are trained to remind themselves to build up the wise reflection, to maintain the balance of mind. So another phrase we use to train the meditator, especially I train my mind, is don't expect anything. Simply like we train ourselves not to cling to anything or to reject anything, because the reality is, as you know, sometimes bad mental images arise and sometimes good mental images arise. So in this scenario, we train to accept the reality, and we train not to fight with the bad mental images or bad fantasy or whatever feelings or thoughts, emotion that you did not expect to experience. So the reality is there are bad, there are good thoughts and emotion. So when we train to accept this reality, and it's easy to deal with even with the painful experiences. So I told you that we train to accept that when there is a good mental images, when there are good mental images arise, we have just to mindfully know and notice, not to cling with it. So this mentality, this mental training will be applied to the same thing when the bad or painful experiences arise, physically and mentally. So this is one one technique we use, wise reflection, and another technique we use mindfulness and accompany with the equanimity. So it's mean that there are three qualities or three roles or activities of mindfulness. One thing is it experiences, either bad or good, physicality or mentality equally, like in a balancing way. There is no bad, there is no good in mindfulness. So this is one technique, mindfully remain equanimous, or that upekha. So this is one second technique that we have been trained to use, and I teach my students. So the final one we train our student to accept is mindfulness, accept something that is happening right now at the moment. So this is the reality. This is the reality. So when, for example, when you experience the terrible pain, it can be mostly our leg. So first thing we do is we have to release the tension in the muscle. Because before we changing our attitudes, we have to release the tension within the muscle. You have to loosen it. So and you can do it physically, because when you are in painful, you automatically you will tense up your muscle. So this is the first technique. And second point, you have to mentally accept or release your tension, or I call it psychic irritant, fighting with with that pain. I mean, having, you know, attitudes like, please go away, I don't like this pain, please go away, I don't like this pain. So these kinds of attitudes must be, you know, mindfully removed, and step by step by using the patient also. So, you know, there are many, you know, techniques, train our mind to deal with the painful experiences during meditation, either physical or mental. So that's all from me, Venerable Sakti.
Satu Pante. Thank you very much for your insightful sharing about your experiences concerning with how we should deal with experiencing the bad sensation, like the pain arises during the practice of meditation. So as much as I could get from what you shared is that we need to be mindfully aware and observe of reality. If it is pain, it is pain. If it is, you know, pleasant, it is pleasant. So we don't get stuck in that idea whether it is painful. You know, each part of the body will start to be painful when you mindfully observe the reality which is happening, you know, rising and falling, rising and falling. So the reality is such, everything undergoes changes each and every moment. So it does not stay there, it does not last there long. So if you can, you know, keep your mind balanced and stay equanimous, upekkha, then everything arises for just to pass away. So you don't need to get yourself stuck in the idea of painfulness, or don't get attached with the idea of pleasure when you, you know, feel all these, the pleasant sensation. So that is very good. I mean, that's very good technique for all of us as a practitioners, as a meditators. We should try to keep ourselves balanced while observing the reality during the time of meditation. It is pain as pain, pleasant as pleasant, dukkha as dukkha, sukha as sukha. We don't get stuck. We don't get attached to the idea of those, and then our mind stay balanced. So, okay, let's come back to Brother Chuni. I know you've been leading and teaching people with mindfulness courses, and right now, due to the breakout of the pandemic COVID-19, so all the meditation sessions, including the Monday mindfulness, Sunday mindfulness, and children meditation at Wat Kulatang, are now being closed down. So I know some people, especially some students, they've been demanding to open back the mindfulness retreat, because I see that some people get more stress and depression due to the problem which is happening concerning with the economic field, concerning with you know, their mental health. So how are you to train your mind to accept this reality? I know that you know, having the life, balancing the life is such a true happiness, but right now, because of these things happen, our life is not so much balancing. So how are you train your mind to accept this reality while life is not balancing? Go ahead.
Thank you, Venerable Master. We say balancing life is an art. Balancing is beautiful. Is also very beautiful of light living as well, and that's not easy. I mean, according to what's happening at the moment, it's hard. Not just only me, but you know, almost the whole world are facing challenging or facing problem. But the most important thing is we shouldn't react to what's happening. Once we react, we don't accept. The more we react and not accept, the more suffer we encounter, the more pain we feel because what's happening. I mean, we don't like it to be happen. That's why we don't accept. That's why we react to what's happening. So I think the most important thing to train our mind to be balanced is, number one, to recognize and to observe what's happening, what's going on, by not judging. Because when we judge, we lose an ability to see the root cause. Once we check, we lose an ability to see that problem deeper in a deeper sense. I mean, for example, when the problem happening, like like the COVID, majority of us absolutely fear, intense, and worry, and not accepting. A lot of people losing job. A lot of people close down the company, and that one we have more fear, more intense. Then we lose an ability to solve the problem. We lose intelligence to solve the problem. That's why in mindfulness practice, the mindfulness practice is, the duty of mindfulness practice is, number one is to observe. Number two is to build more self-awareness, to build more what we call in Pali, what we call sati, and sampanya, to build more awareness, to really understand the problem and find a way, how can we solve the problem if this is happening? How can we talk more with our family? How can we sit and talk with friends to respond to this problem? Like myself, I've been leading a lot of big group, for meditation, for training and leadership, mindfulness, communication. And when that hit, I couldn't do anything because my work is to meet with the crowded, to do with the crowded. And when this thing, then I kind of force myself to learn something how to do online, to offer some mindfulness course online through Facebook. If I don't accept it, if I'm not happy with it, then I won't be able to do what I am doing right now. Just beautifully say, when there's a pain, there's also happiness within the pain. When we accept, when we observe, if we react to the pain, if we react to the problem, and then we don't have a chance to understand, we don't have a chance to see the beautiful after the pain. In Cambodian language, we call sok knong tok. So I think that's how we build ourselves to be more balanced. At the end, just put this way, it's more easy. No matter what happened, we still have time to breathe. We still have time to stop for a few seconds. I would not say 1 minute. 1 minute is too long. We have time for a few seconds to really give ourselves a time to think and respond in a very mindful way and respond with intelligence. So that we have enough time to build balance within our mind. We have enough time to build capacity by respond to the situation. Otherwise, we would not be able to be balanced. We would not be able to see the thing as they really are. We would not be able to understand the problem clearly. So it's important to take a close look, observe, accept, and find solution to what's happening. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Chani. So it's very meaningful and knowledgeable from your share. I got to learn new word like tuk knong sok. Yeah, it's happiness in pain. So I mean, life is about ups and downs and changes, but we can always be mindful of the reality which arising, so we can turn those crisis into opportunity, like the COVID-19 is happening. But yet we still can do our online Dhamma discussion, every Friday. Some online training courses have been happening throughout this time. So this is how we keep our life balance, even amid the time which is very difficult, and it's hard to go out and get crowded with people, but we still can keep our work going on with the technology. So also thankful for the advanced technology for keeping us together, even though we are far away from each other, but we can still see discuss, share smiles and laughter, and shares the teaching in this discussion. And hopefully our audience also can experience this, effort, happy effort among our team. So again, I would like to thank you for all the honorable speakers who have spent your valuable time, even though our time got delayed due to the internet connection problem. And this is reality, as a matter of fact, that we are facing each and every moment of our life. It is a real practical situation concerning with this topic, like living with reality, learning how to live with reality. If the reality is not pleasant, doesn't go the way we want, we also accept it smilingly and peacefully, and try to find more ways to tackle the problem rather than just sobbing, crying, or getting stressful over the thing which is happening. But we understand the situation, accept it, and try to find ways to get out from that problem, move on smilingly. And that is the way how you should train yourself to face with reality which is happening, because we truly know 100% we know that life is not always facing with things we want, but we also face with things which is unwanted. So train ourselves to accept reality, be prepared for whatever comes in life, because things keeps changing each and every moment. So there will be ups and downs, not just being up, but going down is also reality. Accept that pain is also reality, pleasure is also a reality, and equanimity or beka is also a reality. Whatever happening around us, everything is reality. So finally, concerning this topic, I would like to invite Mr. Brother Thon Van Dong, who lies from Pumung Cham province. I know in Cambodia right now it's very late at night, so I would not go on anymore with the discussion. So I would like to ask for your final message concerning with the living with reality. Can you give some summary over what you have already shared? Maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. What is your last message concerning this matter, please, Brother Thon Van Dong?
Namaskar. So thank for giving me a last chance, but not least, not less. So I think most vulnerable have mentioned quite a lot, and most of the thing is quite very helpful and useful to all practitioners, and also the mention from Brother Chuni, who has mentioned quite a lot about how to accept, to live with the reality. So in point of view, from my understanding, is to accept and live with the realities, and then you're going to live with the happiness. So the happiness will be happen, not because anyone else, but because of ourselves. If we put ourselves to be in sadness life, and you focus so much in problem, the reality is problem. But if you put yourself in the positive thing and the good side, and then you're going to live with the good side, and you're going to live with the happiness. So the decision is on us, which one we want to choose. We're going to choose to live with the reality of bad side, or you're going to choose to live or to make our life to live with the happiness. So the method is already touched by Buddha, and that is already translated and explained by Muslim Born, and especially from the Lukruchuni, has mentioned quite a lot at the beginning until now. So I think now it's time for us to choose. So please accept this time what is the problem? There's nothing. So then the problem is our mind. So just put ourselves in the positive side, in the positive way, and then we're going to live in the reality of the positive life. So thank you very much for give me a last chance. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brother Thon Van Dong, for your valuable time bearing with us to share your experiences and knowledge with this topic of living with reality. So thank you so much for your sharing. And again, come back to Venerable, Brother Chuni. Yeah, Brother Chuni. Can you give your last message concerning with this topic? Please go ahead.
Thank you once again, Venerable Master, for doing an amazing job, and also Venerable Kasapa Kalyanamit Bandung here. So I would say, accepting reality of living a life, we say sometimes saying it's easy and practicing is not that easy in life. When we say when the problem happened, we should accept the problem and find solution. We can say that, but it's not easy. So my last message for tonight, we say the bad day or the good day will pass. Then the problem that happening will also pass as well. It won't stay forever. The anger that happened in our life also will pass as well. This is natural, and we are the master of our own decision, living a life. Happiness and sadness is not something which is already made. It comes from our own action. Let's say if we want more happiness within family, why not talk more about being happy? Why not talk more about happiness? If we want to be more positive within our family, why not talk more about positive? When we want happiness, rather not talk about happiness, we talk about problem. When we want to be healthy, in reality, we don't talk a lot about healthy. We worry that we're not going to be healthy. When we want more money, not talk about how to make more money, but we worry that we don't have money within our life. So in reality is, no matter what happened, but let ourselves be the master of the problem. Don't let the problem master us, or don't let the materialism master us. Don't let all those digital devices and technology master us. It's important that we accept the reality, we accept what's happening, and we respond to that in a very proactive way, not reactive and not judging when the thing is happening. So it's important to understand, it's important to observe, and the last word is important to be mindful and be aware of ourselves, of what's happening around ourselves, family, and community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Chandi, for your very clear explanation, and thank you again for joining with us to this discussion. And there are a lot we can learn from this discussion concerning with reality according to the Buddhist perspective. And again, we gonna give this floor to Venerable Kasapa, who right now lies from Vipassana Turya, Buddhist Center of the Kingdom of Cambodia. As I can see, he is in the sacred room of the sacred relics of the Buddha, which brought from Sri Lanka. So, Venerable, could you share with us your last message concerning with living with reality? What is your last message? And also, we'll end up with your Metta Bhavana, sharing loving kindness meditation to all beings in the universe. But before that, I would like to apologize for any mistake done unintentionally or maybe due to the lack of my knowledge. If there is any mistake, please apologize for any inconvenience and any shortcomings throughout this live show. And I hope our audiences can get some idea from all the speakers who have been sharing a lot of good experiences and knowledges concerning with reality based on Buddhism. So, Venerable Kasapa, without further ado, please take your microphone and share your last message, and please end with your Metta Bhavana. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you, my Venerable Sakti, for the inviting me to share the last message. In short, reality is about accepting as the way it is. And what I want to add is, what is done is completed. It means that everything is in the process. When we say everything in the process means there are ups and downs in life. Sometimes ups, sometimes downs. So this is what Buddhism say. Everything is in the process. It means everything is impermanent. It means there is good and sometimes there is bad. So let us live with the reality. This is the one and only way in order to make you happier and more mentally stronger. Thank you very much. Now let us practice metta meditation. Before practicing, please find a very comfortable posture. You can sit on the chair or whichever posture you are comfortable with. And then take a very long breath 3 times. Breathing in, breathing out. When it is done, please let your breath flow naturally. While you are listening to my Pali chanting, Ahang averomi abhyapajyomi anigomi sukhe attanang pariharami. Now, please create a very tender smiles. Keep smiling. You are a very happy person with smiling face. And mindfully observe the phrases, the real meanings of the phrases which I am about to say. May I be well and happy. May I be free from mental and physical sufferings. May I be free from anger. May I be free from hatred. May I take care of myself happily. May my dearest ones be well and happy.
May everyone around me be well and happy. May all living beings be well and happy. May all living beings be free from physical and mental sufferings. Keep smiling with compassion, with loving kindness. Before open your eyes, please take again a very deep breath. Thank you. May you be well and happy. Hope to see you again for the next program.
Sadhu. Okay, ហ្នឹងហើយ ready អរគុណច្រើនអរគុណបងបដងអីអរគុណច្រើន
All good, all good.
ដែរចាំម៉ែជុំទៅនឹងបងដែរទាំងអស់គ្នាបងលាអត់ត្រូវបងបដងអរគុណច្រើនលើកចូលរួមចាំទៅក្រោយចូលរួមស្រាប់ម៉ែបង
Let's get it. Goodbye. That's all.
ទេចឹងបានទៅខាត់លុយយើងអង់គ្លេសអត់ចៃផ្លេចចឹងចឹងបាទរៀនចៃយើងរៀនចៃផ្លេចចឹងផ្លេចហើយបានចៃស្អីទីហើយតែស្ដាប់ហើយតែស្ដាប់យើងតែអត់ចៃយើងផ្លេចចឹងទៅហើយចៃពីស្អីទៅទីណាចៃអត់ទេ
Ôi chú này,
ទូបាត់ដល់និយាយទៅអានទៅ
តែញ៉ាំ
thích
អាច
ăn,
ញ៉ាំ
thích ăn thanh.
តែញ៉ាំអាចយើងប្រាជ្ញញ៉ាំតែញ៉ាំអាចសន្តិភាពក៏ទៅចូលដល់តែនេះគឺទឹកទីដល់កាត់បារាំងកាត់ស៊ីលេច
និយាយមួយ slow មួយដូចថឹកនៅឋានណា
ត្រូវនិយាយចឹងល្អកុំមកនិយាយដូចលឿនដូចយើងដូចអត់
និយាយលឿនពេកទៅដាត់តែកណានិយាយលឿនពេកចឹងទៅដាត់ដែរ
ទៅហើយគាត់ថានិយាយយឺតក៏បានដោយសារពេលវេលាវាតិចចឹង